The abaye di hun komo Emmanuel Ano ne fine na efe disciplinary committee dia bono say on 500 Ghana cedis if you say we display nyamesem e na tadie mu and ntino aba ho we say mra and ebi argue say the law is the law. Any kwanso use football promote anything political, religious, ethnic and hunka ho. Now for so argue say adie we there ye kru na team no ye very religious people. The why no offend obi sensitivity enti die enti na more parishional. Me say what should be on your Facebook page but let's go into the what show on your Facebook page na hwe se betime di hunkomo.
I didn't hear the last part. Let's say Facebook.
I know you've written something on Facebook, so I would like to even hear your take on this matter.
Okay, so let me say that I woke up to the story this morning, and I'm sorry, me quiet time na me huye, and it just struck me. Say, it's a very interesting position the boy has taken. I don't disagree with him in principle because. So, Ubia when I say, "Over sorry, Jina ho, Amma Yesu Christo." The person will face the world. In fact, you have the world to face because John 1:11 can. The world has rejected Christ. He came to his own Jews, but they rejected him. And he said, "Oh, who say, over sorry, Jina ho, Amma Yesu Christo." Say. Nipa bibe sorry tiao. And we are number one. Number two, the American one say football a universal game. Emra teach footballer, yeah, Bobby or Ghana Hano. Uko Italy, Uko Brazil, Uko Azerbaijan, Zimbabwe. Baby Abe Kubiano is the same rules. And he saw your footballer na Ujitu Muse, Ubo Bola, Esa Jim Branitum. One team in cassette. Me a footballer, I just to Muse, level ball. And so, football, Mrawi, dear. So, Jim Tuma, may advise I'm the man say, and a man kumukra. So, Koma, you have to abide by the rules of the game. A honor mini, Imarelano, and Yadrin.
Okay.
Immediately say, Ohian Cheche, I will never be home because you. Send me kind, Mimi Ghana Premier League regulation. It bans the display of religious messages on jerseys or undergarments and those things. But I was checking the FIFA rules and I saw Law 4, I think 0.5, clearly states that. You see, I'm going to say, the game we are playing is governed by FIFA rules. So you cannot choose and pick which of the rules you want to obey and which ones you don't want to obey. The Bible is a universal book. The Oko America, John 3:16, for God so loved the world and he sent a tear on San a tear. Who be John 3:16 were crying of a actual moon, San Alco Washington, San actual. You know, so cannot choose to play football and go against the rules. The same way as if you are a Christian, you cannot also decide to obey Christ at one point and disobey him. To me, Master say Mia. Either say, double ball, maybe I'm running, maybe I'm running Tiamino. If I want to profess Christ, I'll profess Christ there. If not, me cry. Example, me yeah, and enough football no. Me Bokrana. Yesu Christo Niama, what I catch him say, Itiamra. But so be just say, the world will be against you, and you will pay the consequences. Maybe we have to accept the price he pays for displaying Christ. But we also have to know that the world has its rules, and if you want to live in the world, you must play by its rules.
When an pay Chief said at the Modia Basse, as if we are being hypocritical in the application of the law. If you say Ghana high ye bobo bia 2 teams in bompire. Ebiwa a Muslim prayer, ebiwa a Christian prayer. Blaster scribe boy ye bompire. Abrofona or more implementing the law to the letter no or more empire bobi any ho. And why do you choose your teams, allow your teams to pray before games and after games, but will punish them for displaying any signage that promotes Christ?
No. Seydou is missing the point. He's picking too many issues and putting them together and drawing wrong.
Okay.
It's also if he buy
from the West.
Yeah, buy. Me, I'm a Presbyterian. The Basel missionaries, I'm from Switzerland. So it's not true. Because Ansana, in your name, what have you Bible? No, I have from the Bible number 3. It is a or will say, I grown up with the football. I give you football and start to Ghana. This is not an issue you can place in a cultural context. There is no cultural context to this. The context to this is football regulation, which is law 4.5. And minimum in football, Rapai, 0.5 now. It even goes further to explain what they mean by the ban on the display of political and religious messages. Me, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to compromise on my Christian values. But I'm saying that within the same context of not compromising my Christian values, the Bible teaches me to accept that the world has rejected Christ. So if you want to live in the world, then be ready to face the consequences of promoting Christ. Scientists are, now you want to promote Christ within the arena, you say, man, yeah, then don't do it. Because what did Jesus tell the Pharisees when they asked him about obeying Caesar or obeying God? What did he say? Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's.
Yeah.
That's what Jesus said. So I'm saying that I'm not a baller. You cannot choose and pick which of the rules you want to obey. You have to play by the rules of the game. They are not a year war. Is it nations?
Mm-hmm.
Or England, EPL, no Koyesa or London, you will face the same punishment. So I'm saying that there's no cultural context to this. The context is the law of the game. And the law says you can't do it.
But what about this not affecting anybody's sensitivities in Ghana? Because Ghana, a chief imam, what we call sorry them a Christopher Hall, Christians and Muslims live in harmony, and even traditional leaders live in harmony. There's no religious tensions in Ghana. So does our context not negate the universal norm?
It doesn't.
Okay.
And I'll show you why it doesn't. The fact that you see Christians going to the chief imam to maybe greet him, talk with him, take pictures with him, doesn't mean they accept the faith of the chief imam. I mean, with all due respect, I have Muslim brothers. Some of my good friends are Muslims.
Yeah.
We share mutual friends, or we have mutual friends who are
Muslims. Yeah, true.
But they do fear that. They go to the mosque with all due respect. They do kwesiada na. Some of us also go to the church. Our faith, that the fact that we are friends doesn't mean that we share the same faith. That is the answer to that question. Now, whether or not it affects religious sensitivity in Ghana doesn't arise. It doesn't arise because with what rules are you playing the game? And what does
the rules say?
What do the rules of that game say? The rules say that you cannot display. You see, that is what we must all take our attention to. Me, I'm not condemning, because I just think that he doesn't understand the issues at stake. He needs to understand the issues at stake, which is that the game within which you are a professional, that game clearly prohibits the point you are trying to make. Say, you want to profess your faith. Yes, you want to profess your faith, I agree. But what then happens to the rules of the game, which you have subscribed to?
So now, Jerome,
And
let's question the general rule here. Same non-discrimination law by FIFA and everybody is promoting what they mean by a minority choice, i.e. LGBT, but says that you cannot promote religious idea. How do we balance the two? Because that issue has also come up strongly.
No, the balance issue again does not rise.
Okay.
Let me show you why. When you read the FIFA law 4.5, it does not say don't profess your faith. It does not say don't tell us you are gay or you are homosexual or you are heterosexual. It does not say that. What the rule says is that slogans, statements, images, and advertising, equipment players use must not have any political, religious, or personal slogans, statements, or images. So you may be gay and you are playing football. FIFA doesn't have any problem with you. But the moment you go and write on your shirt that leave gays alone and you display it, FIFA will punish you. Because the rule says do not display those things. There's no ambiguity about this. It goes on to say, for any offense, the player and or the team will be sanctioned by the competition organizer. And that is why I see that the GFA did nothing wrong. Because they organize the competition. They are playing the competition with rules with which Nations FC have subscribed to. Because I want to hear affiliation fee in this animal. And the fact that nations have subscribed to those rules, it means that their players are also bound by the rules. So you can't go and say, I will do what I want. The moment you do what you want within the space of the rules will come against you because you can't do what you want. If you are looking at the rules again, the last part makes it clear. It is not why. Have you heard in any football world that a player has been punished because he's a Christian, or a player has been punished because he's a Muslim, or a player has been punished because he's an atheist? No, this rule is not about that. This rule is about expressing religious or political beliefs in a way FIFA says you cannot. Yasha football na me who say player be actually go why sign of the cross they show the card that. Because the rule does not talk about making the sign of the cross. The rule says if you put an image of a religion on your shirt and display it, it's against the rule. You see, almost kasa about cultural context, name. A reconciliation of our culture, beliefs, and religion against this rule, then don't go and play football. You cannot go and play football. In my article, I alluded to something. Okay, the book of Matthew chapter 5, verses 28 to 29. What does Jesus talk about? Jesus says that if you look after a woman, like if you lustfully look at a woman, you have committed adultery. But go into the porn world. What do they do there? What they are doing there is against what the Bible says.
Yeah.
And do you think that, excuse me to say, no disrespect to the Catholic faith, but do you think that if you are a Roman sister and you go there with your Bible and you want to do the kind of things they are doing, but you don't want to strip, they will allow you to do it?
Yeah.
They will not allow you to do it because that's not how they do it. I'm just saying that I'm a Christian. I will pay the price for professing my faith. And you should know this, number one. Also know that what you have signed up to has certain rules. If you're not prepared to go by the rules, then don't go there. But if you go there, then you pay the price. And that's why Arno has been punished. And if he does it again, he will be punished. Because at the end of woman, son of Monsieur Moyo Madie, 2% of your idea, in a way contrary to how they do their things, then they're going to have problems with you. I think that the best approach for all, and maybe this is an advice to all Christian footballers, it's a business. I don't think God is against football. From all my reading of the Bible, I have not come across any business or anything that says that football is a sin. Football is not a sin. But the kind of things you do with or in football can be sinful. So play your football, but also obey the rules of the game. If any of the rules contradict your faith, then quit. Because if you don't quit, they will always come at you. That will be my approach. And I have seen Christian footballers. I mean, maybe I'm not permitted to mention their names, but when I was at Protocol, who will come to camp with Bibles, who will read Bibles, who ibinum kofan maybe omifo say any omu faith in year, they won't be part of it. If I have their permission, I can mention their names to you. There were things people brought to camp they didn't take because they don't believe in those things.
Oh, but so
oh no, but someone say no be an or be over person in the radio so. But I know me when she had two protocol players near me fa juju huni sabi abosum samni sanema who they found mu feature omo dan etia omo benyase because it is not part of their religious beliefs. But you see, and private. They don't bring it to the team. For instance, let me give you an example. They do fiada, they were camper. Muslims are allowed to pray their prayers. They do the other days, especially Sundays. Christians are also allowed to pray their prayers because Protocol is not a religious institution. Protocol is a football club, and Protocol made that space for religious diversity. I think football also makes the space for religious diversity because this rule is not about Christianity. If Obi Kotro, Allah is great, I want to just say, no prija, it doesn't mean the rule is against Islam. The rule is against the display of religious messages. So it can be religious messages from, let's say, Buddhism, and you'll be punished. It doesn't mean FIFA is against worshiping Buddha. FIFA is against displaying religious messages. And I think it is for the sanity of the game because can you imagine what will happen if, for instance, the nature of football teams we have, where players come from diverse religious backgrounds, everybody has a religious message under their shirt and they are displaying it. Do you know what will happen? Religion. I'm saying religious studies. So I understand some of these things. Religion brings strife. It can easily lead to conflict. You have to be careful when you are discussing or handling religious issues.
Okay.
And that is why I think FIFA has a standard rule.